Hi, welcome to a new video dedicated to the new compact micro brushless eraser, and this is the Lantian 90L, including a built-in Fiersky D8 receiver. So if you already saw one of my former videos where I built from the Lantian 90L frame a complete micro brushless quadcopter thanks to the Lantian Aurora 90 electronics with the mini cube. This model is directly the BNF version where everything is here. Okay, all the electronic and F3 boards. You have some lower 4-in-1 ESC 12 ampere BLS D-shot ready. Okay, and for the FPV ring you have a 25 milliwatt 48 channel with a 520L TVL CMOS camera. Okay, so let's discover first the bundle. So what you will have here is a quadcopter, okay, and as you can see directly is installed the prop guard, and if you maybe recognize it, is nothing else than the King Kong GT90 prop guard, where they don't install the two front and rear bar, I guess, to not make some extra occlusion in the field of view of the FPV camera, so maybe a little bit be weaker in front and rear in case of crash. So you have some 2033 blade prop installed, but we will discover a little bit influence on the quadcopter. So let's check a little bit the accessories and what you will find in the bag. A bag with 4 spare props, some Penta blade, but some 1935 versions. Okay, so if you prefer some 2-inch or 1935, it's up to you. Maybe this one offer a little bit less jello. Okay, so they offer more or less the same type of motor thrust than for example, the Russell Star 2035. Okay, we can find 2 spare batteries. They are exactly 380, okay, and they're announced to have a discharge rate of 30C. Let's measure, for example, the weight of each one, and ending with a micro low-Z connector. So each of them weighs approximately 21 grams, and if you need some exact dimension, they are in millimeters 43 by and 20 by 15. Okay, so 2 of them is great in the field to extend your flying fun time. USB to micro USB, okay, to configure your Betaflight settings. This machine comes with Betaflight 3.1 pre-installed, a battery strap, okay, to install to lock your battery, and a screwdriver, okay, and that is a X mini screwdriver to remove, for example, the top canopy plate, okay, to access to the built-in receiver and to do the binding procedure. Okay, so now let's return a little bit to the quadcopter standalone. So here is the full BNF version, okay, and here is mine. I assembled thanks to the Aurora 90 electronics. And first, I would say good news. If I met some problem with the buzzer with the Aurora electronics here, they had the good ideas to change the position of the buzzer more rear, so no more pressure. Okay, on the top of the canopy you can see just lie here the Fiersky receiver, okay, where you can find the 2.4 GHz antenna. So you're not obliged to remove the top canopy to access to the buy button. Thanks to the small tweezer, you will be able to press to click. Okay, it's okay to access it directly without removing. So let's discover the frame. Pretty nice frame where you can see here the 5.8 GHz antenna, a foil one, okay, linear one, seems to be robust to crash. You have a heat-shrink tube here to secure a little bit the soldering job on the IO FPV camera, okay, and it's a 520 TVL model, CMOS one, broadcasting by default in pale, if I'm not wrong, but in the first glance, what I a little bit in shock, I don't see any button to set the video frequency and the video band, so it's a little bit strange. Anyway, let's continue to discover. We have the micro USB port here to access very easily, no problem to plug it, okay, in like some model. We have here the buzzer with two lights, night for a night flight. They are not programmable through a beta flight, okay. And here all the soldering jobs. Here, for example, you can find the soldering job here on the main F3 board of the FSK receiver, here connected in S-bus configuration, okay. So be aware, we have a wire, for example, to monitors. If you want on your OSD information the V battery, that's great, okay. So on the bottom side, we can find all the connection for all the SC on both lateral side. Always please secure them, maybe by hiding some liquid electrical tape. Let's focus a little bit more on the FPV camera. We have a 3D printed seat where the camera is got an up tilt angle about close to 20 degrees, which is not bad at all. No possibility to tune it, okay, but at least we'll be okay from moderate to aggressive crash. It's a racer. We have some 12 ampere LES, and look, the motors, they are some 1104 announced to spin at 7500, so it's not so fast, and it means that it will be, and it's 3S compatible, but 3S compatible with a micro LOSI connector is not really a good news. So this type of connector is still okay up to 2S, but it won't be okay if you plan to use it, this Lantian with a 3S battery. You will need to change the connector for a JST, or even better for an XT30 connector, okay. Be sure of it, you have to change if you plan to use this machine in 3S configuration. Let's measure a little bit the weight of everything, okay. So with the prop guards, we have on the bottom side some small piece of foam playing the role of landing pads, but anyway, let's measure the weight standalone. Okay, we are reaching 72.2 grams, and with the battery 93.7, and we have to add the battery strap, okay. So we are close to 95.5 grams. Let's compare with my version with a different electronics. Some Racer Star 2035 props, I really prefer them, and you will see even with the DYS 3 blade or the Penta blade 9035, we will have some jello with this type of props. Why? With this Racer Star 2035 we won't have, so I probably will install later this type of props. Anyway, let's measure the weight, okay, with already and we have 63.7, and let's measure with the same type of battery. So we are close to 85.2, and this one close to 10 grams more lighter with my version. That's really surprising, but the prop guard is probably heavy, okay, and some different element also adding some extra weight. So I want to show you now how to bind it. So first I want to remove the upper top plate, but I want to give you before the thickness of the frame, because it's very important, because this model is nothing else than a direct competitor of the Aurora 100. You know, this one was really a nice machine, but the frame, the lower arm was weak, because first there was all parted fill here, so make it a little bit more weaker, and the thickness was only 1.5 millimeters. For the 3 key carbon. Let's measure it here, and bad news, we have exactly the same thickness for the lower plate, so the same type, and for the upper one we have around, I guess, 1 millimeters only. So let's measure here, yes, where I can take it without yes, maybe here we have only 1 millimeters for upper plate. So I would say the only good news for the lower plate, that we don't have any hole. It's a full plain carbon arm, so it should be a little bit more solid, robust than the Aurora 100 version. Okay, so now let's open a little bit the upper desk carbon plate to access the electronic, and I will double check a little bit this story about the non-presence of the VFREC button. Okay. let's open it. Okay, so just remove these two M screws. You can use this screwdriver here. Super fast. Super easy, nothing to do special. Okay, remove the top plate, that's all. And let's have a look to the PSK receiver. Just install like this, no tape. The bind button is here, so how to bind it is like usual. Press bind this button while powering. So to power you can use a battery, okay? It will be a little bit tricky to insert while keep it press the button, or maybe it will be a little bit more easy to use a USB port and use, for example, a computer port or power bank like this to or plug with the USB. It will be more easy to plug, okay, while keep it press the bind button. So let's focus a little bit more on the electronics. We have the linear antenna. Oh, we have a voltage regulator for the FPV camera, so should filter out some motor interferences. So it means that maybe the lower plate here is just a 4-in-1 ESC board, not including a PDB, but we have a voltage regulator delivering plus 5 volt for the IO FPV camera. So the camera has 520, no switch to turn in PAL or NTSC, and I don't think any switch button here, nothing to tune the V frequency or the V band. How it's possible? I don't understand how to tune. And the default one is working in Boscan band, if I'm not wrong, or maybe okay. And actually I managed to I will show you to turn to have a video, okay, in 5745 megahertz. Okay, the image is clear, we have the OSD information, that's great, you can see, no problem. Okay, the latency is great, compatible with FPV racing, no problem. Where is the VFrec button? So maybe there is a hope to tune it through Betaflight, okay, Betaflight OSD. But in terms of link, I don't see. Okay, we have this one, and the black and red is to power the IO camera. The yellow, it should be the VIN sent by the camera to the OSD, okay, and the red, it should be the video signal plus OSD information sent to the transmitter. So I don't see any specific trigger to cable to set the video frequencies through the flight controller. So it's a real big open question. Maybe mine is damaged, I don't know, but I didn't find nothing broken in the packaging. So really it's puzzling me, okay? Anyway, we have to continue. In the worst case, I will fly with the default frequency. So it means that if you have several micro brushless racer like this, you won't have the choice to fly together. You won't be able, okay? That's a big problem. Anyway, another remark is concerning the motors. Okay, we have the prop guard installed, but I'm afraid that the screws, if you want to remove the prop guard, the screw will be too long. Okay, let's measure a little bit the length of one. Okay, I don't see. Oh, no, it should be okay. So be sure that short enough when you will remove the prop guard to not damage the internal part. Okay, all the coil wiring bobbin inside is very important and seems to be shorter, so I can give you the exact dimension of the motor screws, okay, the M2 format. With the head they are 785, but without should be around 6 millimeters. Okay, it's a 6 model, should be okay, but maybe some 5 would have been better. Okay, if you don't want to use the prop guards, it's an open question. So okay, so be aware of that. Maybe you will need to buy some M2 by 5 if you don't plan to fly with the prop guard. Okay, so you just need to select on your favorite radio Devo compatible the PSK D8. So for Deviation TX, it's just the PSK one. Ready to press bind. Okay, be sure to select the D8 mode if you're binding with a Taranis. And I will keep press the bind button here with the finger. You have to hear a click. Then I will use my power bank. That's all. So it's much more easy with the power bank to to insert micro USB. Okay, and I will press bind. And if it's okay, the LEDs of the receiver should stop to flash, then reappearing in a couple of seconds. I will release the bind button. It will flash. So now to confirm everything that the band is down, I will power off everything. Okay, repower the quad, turn on the radio, and the blue LED here is solid. Let's check if we have, for example, some telemetry information. No telemetry information with this D8 receiver. It's a bad news, so it would have been great. And we'll also check if we will have some RSSI information for the OSD. I'm not sure of it, okay? So now it's time to check the default Betaflight configurations. It's come with a 3.1 installed, not the last set, and check everything. This is the first demo fly of the Lantian 90L, the BNF version. First thing you have to do out of the box is also install the battery strap. Why they didn't pre-install them? It's a little bit tricky because you have to remove the four screws attaching the flight control board. You have a plastic green parts. Okay, I remove it completely because part of the flight control board will be sit on the battery strap, so I don't risk any contact with the carbon element. So like this, is the weight is 93 grams, if I'm not wrong, more or less. And well, I'm afraid that the part of the field of view will be blocked by the front prop guard system. So, and be aware if you plan to remove it, to be sure that the screws, the provided one, 6 mm long, are not too long. Okay, so I programmed the bother on aux2, the different flight mode. Nothing was configured out of the box, and as I say, the main drawback is concerning actually the video transmitter. There is no button to set the video frequency. Actually, I'm locked into the 5745 megahertz. Okay, it's like this in band A. I hope I won't have too much jello with this DYS 2035-30 props. Okay, if I have, I will replace them immediately with some Resistar 2035, known to offer much more jello-free flight. Okay, I will start to fly more in lost condition, okay, and then enjoy more FPV if I can. Let's go. Okay, so I will turn on the quadcopter by plugging the micro LOD connector. So for 3S is not a good choice, not strong enough to handle such amount of power. I will turn on my radio. Okay, I'm locked. I will see if I can record in the same time. Yes, okay, recording. And let's turn on the quadcopter. Okay. Okay, let's see a pump. Wow, it's less stronger than my on-wheel Lantian based, and look at the beeper is already beeping. Amazing. Okay, let's see whatever. Boom. No more battery. What's happened? Okay. What is this? Maybe the battery is damaged. I don't know. Okay. So I have to check that, but I've got 20 seconds of flight. What this hell? What the fuck? Well, so we change the battery. I've got another one, recharge. Okay, and let's check that. But wow, what is it? Okay, so let's resume the flight with this new charged LiPo. I hope to. Maybe my other LiPo was damaged during transportation because ship full charge, and they are now weak. So I've got the signal perfectly in a pale configuration. So I will start like this, arm the machine. Okay. Wow, flying well. But it's amazing, it's already beeping. So maybe the voltage alarm are not well correctly set. Wow! Flying beautifully with beta flight. Look at that, it's already beeping. So probably the voltage alarm are not correctly set. I will disarm. I will try a little bit to fly FPV right now.